Welcome back to the Gathering Place, part three of our series on what's happening in the East. I did some inquiring on the UN's involvement, and this is what I learned. And this may come as a shock to some of my American friends. And I did double check this a couple of times. But if, again, there's any errors, let me know. Over the years, the UN has desperately tried to enter and give aid, make a stop. Since 1972, they have been vetoed, meaning they've not been allowed to enter. From the United States has vetoed them. And I think it was close to half the number of times that they have actually attempted to, or more or less, around 50. Well, I know it's been 53 times. 53 times since 1972, the US has blocked the UN from getting involved to try and bring peace to the land. Personally, I don't know why the UN doesn't just hand it back to Buckingham Palace and say, fix this, it's your fault, which is where um, Greta last participated in a march, was in London. And, well, as they've taken no responsibility yet, those 53 vetoes from the US, well, they have the United States since 1948, when between 48 and 50, when the UN took over, have given to Israel $305 billion. Billion dollars. That is about the equivalent as what it cost for the, was it the Apollo, the space program, to put the first people on the moon. 300 billion, and of that, 222 billion of it, so a lot, at least 2/3 around, have been spent specifically on military defense for Israel. Now, I've mentioned that Israel has one of the world's strongest militaries and military defense, with nuclear weapons and all of those things, which means that the US has contributed greatly to what's happening to the people in Gaza and the West Bank, the Palestinians, and the Israelis. I don't really understand this part. I understand that it's been strategic. It's wanting to have one ally in the East, so that if there was ever any real outbreak in war that might come back to North America or to the United States, that they had protection. I'd love if there were an expert or someone who knew more about that than me. It doesn't seem very balanced to me, is all I'll say. And I know that it answers a lot of my questions too, because I've heard recently in the news a lot of Americans standing up and saying, we don't have health care. We can't pay for, or you're not giving us any subsidizing or any help for childcare. Why is this money going to hurt innocent people? Why is it going to buy more bombs? And I agree. So, as I said, the Palestinians in Gaza, they're living in tents. They are literally starving to death. Not to mention, inside Israel, they passed a new law. I mentioned it in the last video, March 30th, that now, well, it's an apartheid law. It only applies to Palestinians. It's only applying to the race of the people. And that is to face the death penalty should they have any involvement in crimes that are related to terrorism in any way. Only to the Palestinians. The Jewish people would not go through the same court system. Again, nothing seems to be balanced. So this is Greta's call to action. And I mean, she's doing what she does in the world, and we need more people like her. There are a lot of us who wonder what we can do from our own homes, in Ontario, Canada, or well, wherever you are in the world. To my American neighbors, write, send letters, make phone calls to whoever you need to get them in your country to stop sending money to the East. Good place to start. What I've done for everyone in the comment section, pardon me, in the description of this video, and also over in the channel in my posts, are copy and paste letters that you can copy and paste and send to any officials in your government that work on behalf of global affairs. You can send to Amnesty International, and I've included Amnesty International's link in both locations as well for you to access. What I'm asking everyone to do, you can, as I mentioned, you can find those copy and paste letters in the description here or in the channel, as I did with the first video from Jane Goodall. And well, she still is an inspiration to me, but I hope that these words will find you as well. Jane says, what we do collectively as billions of human beings making the right ethical choices, that's going to move us in the right direction. And I do believe that. I believe that when we stand together, when we are united, we can accomplish amazing things. And the truth is that Gaza deserves peace. The Middle East deserves peace. And well, there are people that need our help. So if there's anything you can do, and you can send that letter or send an email or sign a petition on the Amnesty website, you don't even have to leave your couch, but it makes a difference. I promise it really does. With that, thank you for following along with me in this 3-part series. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment for us. And speaking of comments, I will see you there.